this is Kendra. Everybody, welcome back to the channel. All right, we got a bit of Bleach Immortal Soul today. So the actual Soul Box event that I spoke about in the last video or two ago has finally come up, and that's Stark and Full Hollow Ichigo. So Vasto Lord Ichigo, whichever term you like to use better. So this is interesting Soul Box event. As you know, I do use Full Hollow Ichigo inside of my actual team as one of my main characters. But I've always liked Stark. You know, Stark gets a lot of flack. He's actually, number one. So he's supposed to be, according to the way that they've leveled up the Espada, one is supposed to be the strongest, so forth and so on. And he's actually the strongest, but a lot of people give him flack that they don't think he's that strong. He actually has a pretty good skill set in terms of bleed and actually helping with crit a little bit. It makes him a little bit more of a team player than actually Full Hollow Ichigo is. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do. I do have Stark, but I only have it to 2 stars. Full Hollow Ichigo is, of course, at 6 stars. So taking him up to 7, it's like 300. I think it's like 340 or something like that in terms of, shards. But you can, of course, use Omni shards. There's a big discussion going on right now, especially you can find it probably if you look in Reddit, about what's the best way to go once you get from 6 stars. Should you immediately go and try to shoot for that 7, or should you actually start to focus on the battle soul, which is the secondary soul that you get? You get the war soul almost immediately, but then you can actually go to the next one, but it requires shards. So in my opinion, it's best to go for the soul simply because of the fact that you do need character shards for that. For character shards, you can use Omni shards, so that's another way of getting the shards that you need. But to actually make the soul, you need shards of the actual character. So it's a little bit more in terms of instant impact to just go ahead and get the soul. And that way you'll have both of them, and then you can, start focusing, supplement with Omni shards to actually take the character to 7. Unfortunately, if you take a look, I changed my screen, by the way. I've got Orihime up here. Decided to go ahead and get into the Christmas theme. We've got a little Christmas background, Christmas Orihime, so that's just for that. The problem with Full Hollow Ichigo is the fact that I've pretty much done everything that needs to be done on him. I have the secondary soul. Okay, so there's really nothing I can do in terms of that. Also, his weapon. I've already double broke his weapon. I need now 4 copies. The first break just takes 1. The second break takes 2. Third break apparently it takes 4. So I'm going to have to, and the chance of getting UR shot boxes are just ridiculous. So you'd have to literally wait around for 4 soul boxes, which could probably take, with as many characters they got, could be years before they actually get to that point. So there really isn't any thing in terms of that I want to go for. So in terms of what this actual soul box event would get me, the only thing it would give me the chance to go ahead and focus on bringing Stark up. But I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do. I've got enough, so I'm going to go ahead and pull on it simply because of the fact that I do want to go ahead and get the shards either way, so I can go either or in terms of what I want to use in the future. I might probably end up just going ahead and taking Ichigo to Full Hollow Ichigo up to 7 stars, but the problem I'm having with Ichigo right now at Full Hollow Ichigo is the fact that I'm not getting any type of team support from him. That's the only problem. I got him in my front row, but he's probably going to end up being replaced by Anniversary Ichigo, because Anniversary Ichigo is going to be giving me a little bit more in terms of survivability because he is a tank. But he also gives a ton of support to your team in terms of increasing attack damage. I'm already consistently getting 100 million inside of Squad Boss. I don't need, and I haven't even entered him in yet. I pretty much consistently break it now simply because of the fact that Dangai Ichigo is finally up to 5-star. And I've been leveling up, focusing on enhancement of the materials for all of my teams. So I'm pretty much consistently getting it now. I'm averaging between 102 all the way up to 108. That's usually where it falls. So I pretty much, broke the one. So the next 125, let's say, would be my next goal to set. That's something realistic. So really, there's not a whole lot I can get out of Full Hollow Ichigo in terms of what I need. But Stark does have an interesting skill set, and you do see him a lot in some of the higher end teams, which means he's a pretty good player that you might want to focus on. So this is Stark right here. He does bleed as well. Full Hollow Ichigo does bleed too, so they both have a similar set. So he deals damage to a single enemy plus 20% addition for each stack of bleed on the target to a maximum of 60 additional damage. What's nice about this is the fact that if you have other characters in your team that bleed, his base attack is going to can actually be doing pretty good amount of damage. Consider you can get 60% additional damage. This is his base shot. So this is the shot that's hitting when he's not doing his rage, which is pretty much, so he can do a lot of damage. Okay, and then the rage skill is he deals damage to all enemies and triggers the bleed effect on enemies once. And then it fires 2 to force 0 at each target. After the weapon awakens, damage is greatly increased. Okay, and then deals damage equal to 10% of Stark's attack to each target with 30% chance of adding 1 stack of bleed for 2 rounds. So as you can see, he's putting the bleed on, he's keeping it on, and as they're bleeding, he's increasing his damage. And what's interesting about this is this focus from any bleed. This is not a generic bleed. So, as long as you're bleeding, you're doing damage. DOT. And then loneliness. For the first time his hitfall blows 50, Stark regenerates a certain percentage of his hit points and rage for each enemy character inflicted with DOT effects. Now, you've already inflicted multiple bleed on this. DOT effects, there's a bunch of them. There's fire, bleeding, poison, all those things are DOTs. So this gives him a lot more survivability, which would allow him to be useful in terms of some of the higher ending version in the story mode, I think. But here's another thing. After Stark releases his rage, the crit chance of all allies is increased by 2% for 2 rounds for every stack of bleed. So you can possibly get up to 20% crit chance. So that's a little bit helpful in terms of that. And then regeneration of 6% total hit points as recovers 100. So that's the set. So he's got a pretty good set. And you do see him a lot in some of the higher end teams. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do in terms, but we're going to go ahead and pull on the soul box because I don't have anything for Stark. I'm going to need about 100 or so shards to bring him up to 4. I'm not going to be able to obtain that inside of this event right here, but I should be able to come pretty close, and of course should be able to get the weapon shards that are needed as well. So, but I haven't really decided what I'm going to do yet. But either way, both sets have something that would be interesting and useful to me. So I'm going to go ahead and do the summons on this, and the rewards, of course, will be weapon shards. So I at least want to get the ability to make a weapon. Plus, I want to get some awakening materials and stuff like that. So, okay, we've got Omni Shard chest, and of course, the 4 shards, and then of course the weapon choice pack. Okay, Omni Shards, so that's good. I want to get Omni Shards because I want to start building up the Omni Shards. You usually get a good, very, very, very good chance of getting Omni Shards inside of that chest. I think it's something like 80% or something like that. There, I wanted Awakening Essence. That's something I'm sorely lacking. I'm going to have to start focusing on going for these to promote my weapons, because I want to get all of them at least red 1 in promotion. That's not an enhancement. Of course, enhancement, I'm all the way up into Prism 6, but I wanted to start focusing on the promotions and awakenings from that line of view. Okay, so yeah, keep going up. I'm liking these Advanced Omni Shards chests. That's good. Wicked Essence, that's nice. And I got Kinsei. So that's 50 shards. Omni Shard, that's good. So, another weapon shards, another Awakening Essence. I'll take it. Okay, so we're looking pretty good in terms of that. Let's go and hit the rewards. We're halfway through. Get those Omni Shards and Awakening Essences. I'll take them. Bunch of Omni Shards. We can always use that. Alright, so let's see how many we got in terms of... So we've got 30, so we need to get 20 more, because it takes 50 to actually make an actual character. So let's go ahead and do this. So did you do the rebate? Is of course up as always. That's one of the reasons it's very advantageous to pull on the actual Soulbox event, simply because of the fact that they always have a Soul Jade rebate, which will allow you to extend your pools quite a bit. Okay, so I need 20 more for the weapon. Wrong summons. That was a gold summons. I've got a bunch of those up. Nothing there, of course. I never really get anything inside of there when I actually have pull of those, which is why I don't use them very often. All right, so we need 20 more. So let's go ahead and see what we got here. Okay, so 15 more. So we should get another 5 here for 10 more. So is that right? Yeah, that's, yeah, I'm gonna double check that. For sure that's what that was. Yeah, 40. So I guess the, yeah, and the actual, I think they took that. So I need 10 more. So yeah, that should be easily obtainable. But I'm not sure exactly. Let's take a look at the rewards. The reward is, okay, so it's only 2 and 1. So it's only going to be 3. So I still need 7 more either way. So I'll probably have to do 2 pools. Okay, so there's that. So I still need 3 more. And as you can see, there's no reward up. So definitely going to need 2 more actually. So gonna have to do what? Let's do another pool here. Okay, did get the weapon, but we got a reward. So it's only 1 more. So you still do it, but you come up 1 short. You need to get this. You need to get another 2 times to get that. So I'm gonna have 49. Yep, 49. So definitely gonna need to do 1 more pool. They sort of need to angle that out a little bit. So you know, if somebody comes up a little bit short, they can do that. So now I have 44 shards, which is completely 4 shards of nothingness there, but that's the way it goes. So that's how many pools. So let's go into the rebate here. All right, let's see how many shards we get out of these advanced dominance shards chests. Like I say, it's a pretty high rate, so 11. As you can see, that's a pretty good pool. So you're guaranteed to get a pretty good amount of shards from that. It's an advanced chest. I think it's the highest ranked chest that you can have in a gacha game. You know, gacha games are gacha games, which means you're at the mercy of the RNG. So we got the 54 that we need. So we got 60. That's about what I got when I did the last Soulbox event on one of the other characters I had. So, you know, it's 300. Like I say, it's 300. What is it? 300 and what to take the character up? It is 360 to take him to 7-star. So it's one of those things where you have to focus on. You know, it's going to take a long time either way you look at it, just to get 360 shards. So it's one of those things I have to look at. Now, in terms of Stark, it's to take up. Let's see what a 3-star UR character is. I have one. 2-star UR. Where's a UR that I have? 3-star. Do I have a 3-star UR? Yeah, there's a 3-star UR. So it takes 80 for a 3-star UR. So Stark is a 2-star. So I'm going to need 34 there, plus the 80 to take him up. So I'd need 80, 30, 100, and so 114 would be what I would need to actually bring him up. So I'm nowhere near where I need to be in terms of that. But 60 plus 77, I'm actually fairly close in terms of what, but I'm actually got most of those shards are going to be for Anniversary Ichigo to bring him into the team. I'm not exactly sure what he's going to do. I've been looking at my actual, things and determine what I'm going to do inside of Squad Boss as well as some other things, and rethinking the team in terms of what's the best way to go and the way that they put the story out. You understand we're halfway through the story, and it's getting to the point where it's really difficult to. The gating has been thrown off immensely. And it's making it exceedingly difficult to proceed with the standard team. So it's probably going to be best to start focusing on other characters from a standpoint of expansion on your team. So that's why I'm actually looking. I mean, I don't really see, it's beneficial, of course, to get them to 7-star because then you can start honing and get a little bit more out of the characters. But at the same time, moving up to other characters to redesign the team to meet the changes in the game might be something as well too. So it's something that I'm in the process of researching right now. I can't find a whole lot in terms of what I'm looking for because they really don't give you much in terms of damage stats, damage statistics, and what they're going to be doing with the game. We got the Halloween event coming up. That should be week after next. So this right here is the only thing that for the next we should have a couple of weeks where we're not really having much of anything to do. So that I'll be able to punch out some of that info and see which way is the best way to go before I actually determine which I want to utilize these actually for. I'm going to go ahead and save the remaining Soul Jade. I've got enough to make a weapon, and I'm hoping that they will have something with Dangai Ichigo up. Probably not, because I think they just had one recently. But it'd be nice if they'd have another one for him, so I can actually get him up to 6-star. And that is my secondary setup, because Dangai Ichigo is one of the, if not the most powerful character in the games, second only to Tensei Zangetsu inside of my team. He's doing the second most amount of damage, and he's only at 5-star. Bringing him to 6-star would be an extremely advantageous move. So that is my secondary. So the first is to get Anniversary Ichigo up to 4-star, which I can now do. because I only needed 58 and I've got 77. So I now have him up to 4-star, and to get the celebration blessing passive. So now I'm just going to continue leveling him up. Once I get him, once I get his leveling up in terms of his enhancements, I'll start entering him. And I've been saving up my gold because I knew I was going to have to focus on some skills here pretty good. So now I've got everything up to 98. So basically, the rest of it is just the enhancements. I'll be able to do that this evening, actually. And I'll bring him up to 3. Once I get into the 3 here, once I start getting into things, it moves a lot faster. And then I'll be able to enter him into the actual thing, because his skill set is just immense. You've got the cut, deals damage to a single enemy. With to silence the target for 1 round, decreases the target's death by 30. Then we get the rage, is really interesting. Deals damage to all enemies, increases the damage rate of the allied back row by 12% for 2 rounds, and causes the allied back row to recover 120 rage after the rage attack is included. Okay, so that makes him exceedingly good in terms of that. And then he has the celebration blessing, which every time Ichigo attacks, he gains 1 stack of atmosphere. Atmosphere increases the character's damage rate and damage reduction rate by 4, so that's giving him survivability. And he can get 3 stacks of atmosphere. Ichigo's rage attack allows all allies to recover rage instead of just the ally record, so the entire team's recovering rage. Ichigo activates assistance while he's on the battlefield, and assistance is characters in the ally front row increase the damage reduction rate and effect reduction of the back row ally in the same column as them. When ally characters in front row die, they heal the back row in the same column as them for 20% of the character's total hit points. And that allows me to begin to think he may actually be functional inside of the story mode, as well as definitely squad boss and PvP. So as I was focusing on what his ability comes out with, it just became basically apparent that he was definitely something that we should be focusing on. So yeah, it's something that that I want to look at. I got to get this bond activated, so I'll be trying to look into that as well. But yeah, it's really good skill set. It's going to be, of course, hard to get the umbrella and hard to get the to enhance awaken his item, which is the umbrella. But it's something to look at. But yeah, so yeah, he's a really good character. So I think that that's going to immensely help. So I'm going to start working him into the squad boss. I think I got 102 today. What did I get today? Yeah, I got 102 million. So my current team, I can't show what my team is, but my current team is Full Hollow Ichigo. And then Base Ichigo and Kenpachi are the front row. And then in the back row, I have Tensei Zangetsu, Dangai Ichigo, and White Ichigo. So in the front row, I'm probably going to, I'll do the test, but most likely the best to probably eliminate inside the first row would most likely be Full Hollow Ichigo. He does, it's a survivability issue for him. He never dies, but he really doesn't offer much advantage to the team. But he's doing, it's probably going to end up being Base Ichigo, simply because of that. Even though I have Base Ichigo's weapon done up twice, he's still doing the least amount of damage. Okay? He's slightly below Full Hollow Ichigo. So I'll probably just go ahead and replace Base Ichigo. Problem is, Base Ichigo is an attacker, so he has the elemental advantage, but he's still doing less damage. And Full Ichigo is blue, so is support, so he's actually technically the same. So he doesn't have to deal with the damage modifier. Of course, the anniversary Ichigo is orange. Is a tank, so he's going to have the elemental, but he's a tank, so it might not be that problem, an issue. Most of the times, once you get him up, probably going to need. he might be able to survive. I'll probably start trying him out here in the next few days just to see if he can take it, and just see how much that does for my damage. And then he's going to be a work in progress. But so now that he's up to 4, my next is going to be, you know, Dan guy Ichigo, getting him up to 6-star. And then we'll have to discuss in the discussion thread and to see which way, you know, to go. 7 straight to 7, or get the soul, and you know, get the battle soul in terms of going up to the next, because that, you know, there's some really good souls out there that you can use for the battle soul that not only increase your character but also have the ability to decrease the entire team in terms. If you take a look at the actual war soul, the battle soul that I have stuck on full haul Ichigo, you will see that it offers a lot of not only to him, but this increases the attack of all allies by 3%, including characters in your bag. The master skill, allied skill, and defense have a 20% chance to. So this is just an amazing. Okay. So as long as I continue to use him, okay, it's good. The second part is works on effective characters as long as he's implemented in the team. So I'll probably just keep him in, and then I'll pull out base Ichigo in terms of what I'm going to do inside of that. And then we'll have to see which way it goes. But that's a great war soul. So we'll have to see. But yeah, so that's it. That's the pools. So that is up. I'm on server 100, in case you're wondering. And the soul box event is up for Stark and Vasto Lord or Full Holo Ichigo, whichever one you want to use. All right, so thanks a lot for watching the video. Okay, remember to subscribe. Once you subscribe, you'll see the bell. You click on the bell, you get notified each time I drop a video. Also remember to like and share the video, as it does help the channel immensely. This is Kenrick coming at you from the corner, signing out.